Be one next, the 16th. That's when we will do it. We made an agreement with his lawyer that we would not speak about that until.
And that's why he's not here.
That's why he's not here.
He's here.
I'm not here to ask our lawyer here about that. They made the agreement, and I think we're going to abide by it.
Yeah, I agree. I've talked to John twice about it, about setting a we'll call it due process agenda, and we're going to have a special meeting on the 16th. At what time?
I believe.
6 or 7.
I thought it was 7 o'clock.
Let's put it out. What is it? Did you have
We haven't
understanding
really
on
put it in the paper or nothing yet.
Let's do it at 6
Better do
o'clock.
it.
6 o'clock's fine with me.
I think this man here wants to answer about the agenda he was asking.
As far as the meetings that you were setting up, special meetings, what were your intentions on those? You had a bunch of you talking about the last meeting. Were you going to notify the papers about that?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Okay, so that was your intention, to notify them?
That's the only agendas, Dave.
Special meeting.
On special
I
meeting.
think on special meetings we put the agenda out, but on a regular stated meeting we don't
don't.
ever have an
We
agenda.
don't know what we're
because
gonna
just
talk
take care
about.
of general business. It
But
has to
in a
be done
special
the same
meeting,
way.
we'll have an agenda set. I've talked to her, and we're going to. I told these guys to come up with whatever ideas they want to talk about at the special meetings, so she could look it up in the codes and put all the codes together. So we haven't got that all done yet. But at this meeting, we can do anything.
With this meeting on the 16th, you said there's going to be a special meeting to discuss the agenda. You also said the 16th is the chance for the town to talk.
Oh yes.
So is that at a
They will be able to-
after the special meeting?
Give us comments and stuff on what we're doing.
Special meetings open to the public.
Oh, so it's not. I thought you were referring to the executive session
We're
last
not
week as a
going
special
into
meeting as well.
executive session.
Okay, so just an extra difference.
Can
They're
I
different.
make a suggestion?
No, yes, of course.
Yes.
Can I say something?
Oh yeah. Oh, didn't see you back there.
And I would, first of all, I think there's been some confusion as to when this public meeting is going to take place.
Yeah.
And I will say that there was an executive session that
Yes.
we can't talk about everything that went on in it, but it was represented to us, to Mr. Heaton and myself at that point in time, that the subject of Dave's position with the town would not come up at this particular meeting.
That's true.
Okay, now, why that wasn't disseminated to the town, I don't know, but there's nothing nefarious going on in regard to that. There was an agreement that we would not discuss it.
Yes.
And Doug and I have had some conversations regarding the procedure to follow. Doug has been very good. He's come to me on a couple occasions and said, we want to do this the right way, whatever happens, and Doug and I think, are going to sit down and come up with a game plan as to how we're going to proceed. But I would say, for whatever it's worth, and Doug, I hope will agree with me on this, but if the board, the very first thing that has to happen, in my opinion, is the board has to conduct and hold a vote to determine whether or not they want to take disciplinary action against Dave Heaton. Once that happens, then Dave Heaton has 5 days from
Yes.
that point in which to request a
That's
meeting.
the next meeting we're having.
Okay?
That's
And
a special
then
meeting.
that
We will
meeting,
recommend it.
that next
Or
meeting
not.
has to be
You know,
for
one or two. We don't know
recommendation
yet.
purposes
I've
only.
not talked to them what their thought about it.
We on the same page, Doug?
I think at this next meeting, the special meeting, is where they'll be offer an opportunity to have a hearing and then make a finding. Is that what you're stating? And then after a finding, if it's adverse, then he can ask for an appeal. Or do you want to have the hearing?
I think you and I ought to talk about it, and then perhaps we call a press conference in Duggar and tell everybody what we're going to do. Because I think we're talking about the same thing. I think it's just a question of semantics. That you're using
Right, it's
one
just
term
due
and
process. We went
I'm
with the fair
using
way.
another.
And that statute is vague in the way it's written. I'll defer to your judgment on that as to how you may want to do the due process, John.
That's fine.
I agree with what you just said. I think they make a determination, send a notice in writing. It's supposed to be specific findings according to the law. And then if it's adverse, etc., then you ask for an appeal, and then you have your hearing, like a trial of sorts.
Which is not what we were discussing. We're asking about our public meeting where we can all speak. That's a little different thing.
Well,
Can I make one comment?
Yeah.
I don't have anything against that, as long as it don't turn into what it did the first meeting in January, because I'm not going to sit and have 15 people talking at once and raising their voices, because if that happens, we'll just adjourn the meeting.
That's
You
your
can't-
prerogative.
You have to sit and talk like adults and not like a bunch of screaming wild Indians.
Well, I
One
would
person
expect
at
the
a
same
time.
respect from the board, because I think the crowd did get out of control. I also
did.
think the board got a board member got out of control.
No, if you're talking about the board member, you're talking about the board. I'm going to make a comment.
All right, board then. There were loud voices. There was arguments going both ways. I think everyone was conducted themselves badly. I hope that we can be adult and we can do this in order and raise our hands and make our comments and do like we'd like to do, where people can understand, hear what you're
Sure.
saying. If that's not the case, then we've wasted everyone's time.
No, that's fine. But you can't let someone take the floor and talk for 15 minutes.
No, set a time limit.
You guys said you didn't want to talk about the matter of days of Couldn't. Do you want to listen? I prepared a statement and some comments I'd like to share with you.
Yeah, we're
And
not really gonna bring
it doesn't
anything
call
up
for any feedback from you guys, so whatever you want to do, however you feel about it. It's more in the nature of conciliatory comments. I hate to see the community so divisive over an issue like this. It's unfortunate, especially when we all have known each other for years and years and years and are related and friends and so forth. So, it's up to you guys. Should I wait, or would you like to hear
Can
it now?
I make a comment? I think both attorneys would probably agree. I'm not sure at this time it would be appropriate to do that. I respect all the comments of the people, and but I think at this time, I'm not sure it would be appropriate to do such.
as you can see, we have deferred to our attorneys here on this matter. They're directing us what we can do, and we're listening to them. And that's what we're going to do. Now, as far as just making comments to, for, or anything else, we're just not going to do it tonight. There's a proper time and procedure that the attorneys are agreeing on, and we're going to follow them. That's the bottom line. That's what we're going to do.
I've got one comment I want to make when you're done.
So, apparently, the two attorneys will be getting together, and they'll come back to us, and they'll tell us the agenda, and then we'll do the right things from there. And that's the way it should be done. So that's what we'll do, and we'll go from there. So whenever they have their communication, they'll get back with us, and then we'll go from there. So that's the way we want it. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. I got one comment to make. Maybe this might answer everybody's question. A comment was made a minute ago about one person on the town board was hollering, but you got to realize one thing. Sometimes people get out of hand, they lose their tempers. I understand that. But this town board, all three of us were elected by you people, the whole town of Duggar, the ones that voted anyway.
You ran unopposed, didn't you?
Yes, I did unopposed. Yes, but that's not my fault. I ran unopposed.
I
Anybody
understand
could have
that.
run.
I understand that.
But we were all elected as a board. So it's not Dwight Nielsen. It's not Duggar Town Board Dwight Nielsen. It's Duggar Town Board us three. We're working as a team. We might not always agree on everything, but I'm not going to stand there and let somebody walk over him. He's not going to let somebody walk over me.
You're willing to ride his coattail?
I'm not riding anybody's coattails. Nobody's going to walk on Lane. Nobody's going to walk on Dwight or me. Lane, do you agree?
Yeah. Well, that's what we're here for, to keep the board from walking over employees, because you guys have the final choice in it, so we want to come voice our opinion.
No, we don't.
Well, you don't now.
We don't have it. We don't have a final choice.
Maybe if you would have went about it the correct
Due
way.
process, we'll take care of it. That's all I can say about that.
Okay.
Let me ask